Hey guys, it's your girl Multimedia 7, and I'm here to do a dream interpretation today. So, we're just gonna pick back up from the part 2 video. We are now in part 3. I asked God to reveal my dreams and help me better understand what was going on, not only in my dream life, but in my personal life as well. But me personally, I was kind of looking for some sort of confirmation. The only people whom close to me that I knew had valuable information, which they could then share with me, was my intermediate family. My family comes from a lineage which is very resourceful when it comes to metaphysics and things of that nature. The motherland is the main source. And not everyone from Africa will have all the information you need, but my exact lineage is very knowledgeable in a lot of things. I knew from young age that my mother, she always had the gift of dreams. Now, what I did know is that her dreams were always negative. I started to feel as though I was having similar dreams with her with the negativity. She would always predict the bad things that would happen to people. My other sibling, she saw more vividly than I at the time. My dreams, they were blocked. Her dreams, she would always have dreams. And my other sibling, like me, she wouldn't dream at all. And looking back, is a lot of irony in that because the one thing that would bother me would be that while majority of these people were dreaming, and having these dreams, whether you want to call it prophetic or just regular degular, all of them will have dreams pertaining to one another, but especially me. For whatever reason, I would not be dreaming, but these people would see me in their dreams. Even as a child, growing to a young adult, it bothered me. And I know now that if someone sees you in their dreams and they don't tell you about it, necessarily is not a wrong thing, but you should, reach out, especially if it's an intermediate family. But I also know now what is sex magic. So there's a dilemma in that because there's one of two things either happening. Either there is sex magic going on or there is somebody shape shifting. If you see another person should not know what is going on with you in the dream state if it's not about warning you about danger. If someone tells you they had a dream about you and you are not sexually connected to that person and it's no danger involved, they're just saying la di da di da, there's an issue, there's a link, there's something going on. Because it could either be someone shape shifting as one of your loved ones or lovers, or someone's interconnected with one of your romantic partners. 2 nights ago, you know, I had a pretty interesting week and I was praying to God. I have a specific prayer that I prayed to Him. And as I was doing this prayer, I felt a release. I felt good. There were certain people taunting me. I just let it be. I'm like, peace be still in my mind. And I said my prayer and I continued to move forward. What I didn't know was there's something good that was coming was a collection of my dreams. When I was young, I had a specific dream. One of the main specific dreams that I had when I was young, like before the age of 10, I want to say, that made me want to stop having dreams. That was so horrific to me, because you can imagine, before the age of 10, as a young child, I had a dream where I guess I was walking back from school. From geographical standpoint, is so ironic because looking back, I now know the geography of where I was walking from and to. Approximately, it was a 30-minute walk. What I do now know is that in the present, where I was walking from was my middle school. My middle school was 30 minutes away. Now, imagine that, knowing now that I had a dream about me walking home from middle school before the age of 10, which I didn't understand at the time. But jumping into the dream before I go into everything, when I was walking back from school, it was a battlefield. From middle school, I had to pass the high school to get to my house. And there's certain ways, shortcuts, main roads in which you can get from the middle school into my house. But everywhere I turned, people were getting shot. People were dying in front of me. People were just literally bodies dropping. And it was like it was a mission to get back home. And obviously in the dream, it was so vivid. I was so scared. And the main thing I can take from that dream is that as I was leaving the middle school, there were in groups, there was always, these people were getting shot in groups of people or either by themselves, but mainly it was always a group of people. Even if the group was 2 to 3 people involved, it was always a group or larger. It was like a minimum of 2 or 3 people in a group. What I noticed is that these people who were in these groups that were getting shot, even if the shooter themselves was by themselves and not in a group, the main thing I have seen was it was a group. So in the journey going back home, I realized very quickly that, okay, do not group up with people to walk home. That's what the main message of the dream at the time was, like, do not group with nobody. Just go back home by yourself. Just, I kind of felt, even though it was no apparent phase, no person, it's like in my spirit, it was like God was telling me, go alone. I will protect you. So as I was creeping and moving, I was just seeing people dying in front of me. But it was like at that moment or in those moments, I could not, you know, take the time to mourn them or be sad for them. I had to save myself. I was walking and dodging and staying away from the groups. As I get away from the middle school, I some way somehow I took some sort of shortcut. And when I took the shortcut, I had to go in the opposite direction in which I would regularly walk, which I know now from when I was in middle school. It was a direct way that I would walk, and it would usually be on the main road. And sometimes I would take the shortcut. But this time I took a certain shortcut that I don't know how I ended up on the other side of town, but it was still nearby my house. So when I took the shortcut, I was now on the opposite side of the high school. And when I got to around the high school, I seen people that were trying to team up with me. It was like they were just like, oh yeah, like come on, like they shooting that way. Come with, like, let's find a different way. Like now people are talking to me like, let's find a different way. And in that moment, it wasn't like I'm grouping with them, but it was just like, okay, I have to go this way because people are getting killed down this road. So let me go this way, right? So as I was going down the street, there was like an entryway, which I now know where that entryway is and how it was significant to me. I was going through this entryway, this back alley, and I seen people gathering up loads of guns in this entryway. So like obviously like the people who's trying to group with me, they're just like standing and watching kind of, and I'm slowly like backing away, trying to find like somewhere to hide. And just as I'm backing away, someone gets shot right next to me. I don't know how I got away. I don't know. I didn't see myself move. I just see myself moving in the direction of my house. I get to the door and I wake up. So I say all this to say that as a child, I had a dream about my environment and where I've grown up. It is not silly of me to say or think that it has nothing to do with my upbringing, of my environment and where I grew up from. It is not the friendliest of places. I feel as though things have calmed down now. But as a preteen, teenager, young adult, I have seen a lot of people die due to gun violence. I've seen people who I cared about lose their loved ones to gun violence as well. And I feel like that dream was preparing me and was letting me understand from young, be careful who your friends are, be careful who you're associating yourself with, because bullets don't have a name. Anything can happen. But thankfully, even though as a child I did not like going to church 4 to 5 times out the week, it could have saved me from a lot of danger. So I'm thankful and grateful to God for that, you know, because all that time I spent in church, and even though I didn't like it, because it was just like, oh, I'm just going there. I'm not having the free time like a lot of my peers were having and hanging out and things like that. You never know what could have happened. But I did learn a lot about God and His teachings, and prepared me to be the person who I am today. So I guess we're gonna do a part 4, because I'm telling this dream to lead up into 2 nights ago, where God revealed the overall meaning.